Yo, what is up, guys? X Spartan 1000 here, and I could not resist. I'm going to go ahead and do a brief rundown of how you can start off Malkya if you're uncertain as to what to do, because her skill paradigm looks very strange out of all the shapes that I've seen. Um, Brief rundown of the status. The things you want to focus for her are ATK and INT. Don't be too worried about defense and guts, and there's a reason why, and I'll get to that whenever we jump into the abilities. Alright, let's go ahead and click on some of those. So, um, looking at the gear briefly, I haven't done this too much with other people, but it started her off with a light armor piece that typically the mages take, like Nina. And it's because she has magic potential. So I think they wanted to make sure that she had some resistance in both areas. So you can probably just follow suit to keep giving her light armor. Um, Anything that's giving her ATK and INT as an accessory will do. Scarf of Rage is available in the store. Uh, and this is all at Nilbeth, where you first acquire her. One of the store vendors has it. And for the passive skills, take these with a grain of salt for now, because I think there's one that could be better than first aid. Clever fighting is good. As you know, you're going to be converting a portion of one damage stat into another. And she does both, so it's going to be incredibly useful. Auto healing is always good for sustaining, especially for melee fighters. She is a close range fighter, but she also has the option to back off and spell cast too. For looking at her skill tree, so the way I started her, I chose to grab the attack first and then go all the way up to Wildcat. And the reason why I like Wildcat is because she's moving around a good bit, which will make her harder to hit for certain enemy attacks, and she is invincible for this move's duration. So even if they swing on her, it's not going to do any damage at all, and it's not going to interrupt her. I actually got to test that on stream, so make sure you guys check that out. Then there is Shall We Dance. We'll continue down to the left. Next, Shall We Dance is great because it clips very nice into a combo with Wildcat. So a series of spinning kicks, dancing on ice, provides a moment of invincibility. So this move does invincibility along with Wildcat. So Wildcat, the whole 3 hits are free, and then you go into a 4th hit at the beginning. You'll have another moment of invincibility. So you're basically invincible for about like 4 or 5 seconds, and you should be able to get Shall We Dance off. So if you blindside, it's basically for free for you to spam this combo. Proceed up with your defense, grab first aid just because we're trying to pass upward, and get to Crush Clap. Crush Clap doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it's the fact that it confuses an enemy for 15 seconds. 15 seconds is a pretty long time in combat, because if any of you have done successful blindsides, you know that you can just straight up destroy an enemy in a second or two. So 15 seconds to have somebody confused and not fighting, you could confuse them and then just go fight somebody else. Next, you want to grab Confusion Resistance. It's always a good thing to have, but it's mainly so we can get to passing down to these ATK swords and then get to Clever Fighter, because Clever Fighter is a pretty good passive skill for her. Grab all the other attack swords, and then we'll stop here for now. We'll come over to where we were with Wildcat, grab Confusion, some more attack swords, and then we're going to get this rising attack move. This is her triple kick move that she does in the air. This is nice for juggling enemies. You could start a combo with 2 other attacks, maybe Wildcat into another basic attack or something, and then go into rising. And this will let you end it with knocking them up in the air and then resetting a combo. Honestly, I could see you probably spamming Wildcat over and over again, just being invincible the entire time you're fighting. Grab the next attack sword, and then after that we'll slow off, and then we'll come down here and grab the magic side, and you'll start to get to work on her magic side of her kit. Auto healing, we'll have to grab it because it's in our way. We'll get this HP up. We'll grab Acid Rain, 2 more ints, Go down again, grab the other end, and then we will go to the adjacent heart and then to deep freeze. And the reason why we want to go up to the deep freeze first is because this is a heavy hitting spell. I covered this in the Midas video. It is going to, or it has a chance of freezing the enemy solid in place for 6 seconds. That's heavy CC, and this is AoE, so it can be multiple people that get frozen. And it's her highest damage dealing spell that she has to offer. So gun this one. Then you can pass down to Purification just to get these next 2 ints. And then that's where I stop. Longer Punishment could be worth going for because of the deep freeze, freezing the enemy in place, and for the confusion that she can apply just off of attacking. And honestly, it's not like it's a low chance for her to apply this. I literally, on my first hit with it ever, she stunned somebody, and I spammed it 2 more times because there were other enemies in the area, and what do you know, she stuns the whole group of them like that. So if you have her just walking around spamming this crush clap, she's just going to be, you know, confusing every enemy on the field. And then, you know, if you have deep freeze, if there's ever enemies that she can't reach, you just have her freeze them out of the air. So Longer Punishment, something to look at. And also Extend Dodge. I think you could go for a pretty insane Wildcat invincibility build. You could, if you're controlling her, I highly recommend Extend Dodge, because you're going to keep increasing that invincibility window so you take no damage at all. It's like literally playing in God mode. So you'll evade, have a bigger window of invincibility, and then you start going into wildcat attacks, and then you're invincible the entire duration of that, and you can run this animation 3 times in a row. Now for the combos that I have set up currently, I don't do that, but honestly I'm starting to think it might not be a bad idea, because it's free damage at that point, and it only costs 1 AP to do Wildcat. And it could be nice, you know, supporting damage while, you know, you're doing your thing. So Wildcat going into Shall We Dance clips very well. You'll be invulnerable for the entirety of that. And then if you want to, you could go honestly back into another Wildcat. But this could also offer some pretty good damage. You absorb 100% of the damage dealt. And it'll help you like finish off your combo. The only problem is you have to have 5 AP bars to do it. So maybe it's better to just have the Royal Sword on a hold attack so you can just start off doing it. It's also a pretty slow animation, so you probably want to do this only if an enemy's blindsided, or if it's like a big stationary boss that's not currently focused on you. Crush Clap spamming is something I would recommend. I mean, it's not a high damage dealing combo, but that's not the point. The point is to spam it out so that the enemy gets confused. You could run 3 in a row, similar to doing, you know, like how you could run Wildcat in a row. And I think it will be just fine. But if you wanted to clip it with something, if they're confused, they won't really move around a lot, so you can easily land the rising triple kick move as well. Then I recommend you put at least 1 deep freeze somewhere on her tree so she can start it. I put it 3 times in a row because there's a good bit of flaming enemies in Nibelth. Or Nibelth. I think I butchered that pronunciation. My apologies. But deep freeze spamming will be very good, because the more she gets to get this move off, the higher chance of the enemy being frozen, and then you being able to do some shatter damage if that still exists. But yeah, that's how I'm going to be running Malkya in the beginning of, you know, this is like I literally just acquired her 5 or 10 minutes ago, and I'm already thinking she's pretty crazy. So yes, max her attack power and magic power. We'll show her tree one more time. These are the passive skills, and then for the skill tree it's looking like that early on. And of course you can go over to grab the other magic as well, the other int spells as well for like her statistics, and then resistances as you see fit. But that will be a nice starter build for this character, highlighting the majority of her important moves. But all right, guys, that's enough for me. I've been X Spartan 1000, and I will catch you guys in the next Star Ocean broadcast or build video.